What's up? It's Ashton. This is episode 2 of the podcast. We were here yesterday, but it just seemed like a nice little serene spot to do the podcast. I'm going to do my best to make sure that there's video with the podcast instead of it just being audio, because I feel like the retention of human beings are a little slow. But anyways, we are in Arizona. We're currently in Flagstaff. So Flagstaff was never part of the plan, believe it or not. It was on the way to Albuquerque, and we may or may not would have slept here. But we were supposed to be in Phoenix for about 4 days. The problem with Phoenix is fucking hot. It wasn't excruciating hot like it's known to be, but it was just hot enough where it was really uncomfortable to like get any type of sleep. So the first night I was there, when I slept, I just couldn't go to sleep. I had to wait until 1 a.m., 2 a.m. for it to be like naturally cold. And even by then, I fell asleep for 2 hours, woke up, and I couldn't go back to bed. I should have used Unisum. That would have helped, and I probably would have been able to tough it out and sleep there for another 3 nights, but I just did not dig it. And things were adding up, and this is where I'll get to it. So first thing when I got to I was going to say Vegas. First time when I got to Phoenix, Arizona, it felt like Northeast Vegas. Besides Phoenix is its own thing. But the weirdest thing is that Phoenix is just completely dead. There's literally there was no one there. There were people there, but for what you would think Phoenix would be, crowded and all that, no one was there. To make matters worse, and I didn't mind it having no people. Like having people not there was kind of cool because you got to just like see the architect of the city, and it almost felt like you were like in a video game. It didn't load the people in yet. But anyways, I was supposed to go to a Diamondbacks game on April 7th. That's opening day. But for some odd reason, I noticed that they had a game that day on April 4th. And it was a home game, so I thought, oh shoot, maybe this is the opening day, and I just fucked up and thought April 7th was opening day. Well, the game I went to was spring training, which in my defense, spring training doesn't usually happen at the stadiums where the teams usually play. It's usually like out of state at their training camp area or whatever. So I ended up going to a game, and on top of that, again, no fucking people were there. It was just a ghost town. There was like 40 people. And I usually try to upgrade my seats, but it was a little harder because you couldn't blend in with anybody. So it was a little unfortunate with that. But I was still able to upgrade my seats right behind home plate. But I wanted to get right next to the dugout. But it was just hard because there was nobody there. So it's easier to get through security when there's a lot of fans and stuff. It's a little harder just because you stand out when you're trying to do all that other stuff. So I just played it a little safe. One thing I also noticed is Fry's Electronics, which you usually see in California, and they're going out of business, understandably. That's partially because Fry's owns a grocery store, which I had no clue about. I don't know. That's a fun fact. Sorry, I keep looking around to see if people are like around because this is my first time doing this. I don't want to be awkward. But what was cool about Phoenix was since there was nobody there, a lot of skaters skate downtown Phoenix, and I guess it's not that busy. So when I was talking to one of the locals I was sitting next to at a baseball game, they were telling me that Scottsdale's usually poppin'. That's where the people go to like hang out and stuff. Sorry, I'm a little tired. But that's where the people go to hang out and stuff. And then downtown Phoenix is really just either for a Suns game, Diamondbacks game, or you're there to go to work. So as long as there's no sports games going on, which there was, but it was preseason technically. But as long as there's no sports games, there's no one that's usually there, I guess. So a lot of skaters were just out there skating to the point where I wanted to go ask someone if I could just like film for them. But it's my first day and I just felt awkward. But I think I'm going to push myself to get out of my comfort zone to just like talk to strangers. And if I have an opportunity to film for them or like take a cool photo that I think I could do for them, I think I'm going to try and practice to go out of my way to approach them with that. But yeah, it just felt like Skate 3, like Tony, like it just felt like, again, a video game, and it was just made for skaters. Other than that, when I went to Scottsdale the next day, so I fell asleep, couldn't go to sleep. I was still planning to stay in Phoenix, but I was going to DoorDash in Scottsdale. Once I got to Scottsdale, I'm sure there's better spots of Scottsdale, but the portion that I was in, it felt like I was in Sunman or like Nevada, which is northeast Las Vegas, and it was just ghetto. No offense to the people in Scottsdale, but I feel like when you're in a shitty environment, it forces you to have a shitty personality, and the people there were just different. Felt like Vegas. It just didn't feel good. And then doing the DoorDash stuff there, not a lot of people were tipping because it's a pretty rundown area. Obviously, if you're going to be ordering DoorDash and you're struggling to pay rent, or you're in not a nice spot, you probably don't have money to tip. So I understand that, and no hate on them, but that not forced me, but that pushed me a lot to go to Flagstaff. Again, Flagstaff was never part of the plan. So once I had my 2 hours of sleep in Phoenix, Arizona, the next day I did Scottsdale, and Scottsdale wasn't so fun. So then I decided to just do a detour and go straight to Flagstaff and use those 2 to 3 other days to just hang out there, take a risk. There's a kid coming up on a scooter. I don't know if that'll be awkward. And also on top of that, there was a heat wave, I guess, that happened. Literally the first day I was there, that's when the heat wave started, and it was going to last for about a week in California, which I assume would be the same in Arizona, because it was 70 degrees the whole time I was there, and then the day I go there, it was starting to hit 92. So that was interesting. But other than that, I drove to Flagstaff because I just couldn't do it. I was like, I can't be in Phoenix, and it kind of stressed me out for a little bit because it's literally day 1, day 2 of the road trip, and I'm already improvising and adjusting the plan, which is to be expected. But to have it happen on the first and second day, it just made me feel like self-conscious, like, oh crap, am I going to be doing this the whole time? Because I put a lot of planning and effort into this road trip beforehand, so it's like, did I put all that work for nothing? Anyways, when I got to Flagstaff, I also have notes on my phone, so I'm not blabbering on. But when I got to Flagstaff, first thing, it was cold. It was cool because while Phoenix and Scottsdale resembles Las Vegas to me, well, Scottsdale mainly resembles like a form of Las Vegas, when I got to Flagstaff, it resembled like Mammoth, California. And it's funny because Mammoth, California and Flagstaff are so far away, but the drive to Flagstaff compared to the drive to Mammoth feels exactly the same. And it's actually really comforting to be in this area. I call June Lake and like the Sierra Nevadas pretty much like my second home. It's a nice place to escape. And when I came here, it's pretty much similar, except there's not as many lakes. But if you look around me, it's wildernessy as fuck. I'm pretty sure Bigfoot might be here. Anyways, while I was here, I was doing DoorDash and everything, and that was popping off. What's crazy is they have a bunch of name brand stores and restaurants, but Flagstaff is so small that they literally, for the people that know me, it's like all the stores and restaurants in Menifee, Temecula, and Murrieta put into one city or town. I call Flagstaff more of a town because of the size. But all of these stores are on the same road. So when it comes to DoorDash, all of your food places that you're going to be going to are in the same spot most of the time, and then you're also delivering to people that are like a mile to 3 miles away, which is pretty rare when you're DoorDashing in California. But here at Flagstaff, people just don't want to get in their car and drive for 5 minutes, so they ask you to do it. So DoorDash was popping off. My first hour doing DoorDash, I made close to $40. It was like $35 and some change, but within an hour, that's insane. And on top of that, I wasn't cutting into any gas costs because I wasn't driving that far. So by the time I made around like $75, I used maybe 1.5 gallons of gas, which is a big deal for me because my car is like 2005. It's really fucking old. So to only have to go through 1.5 gallons of gas and make $75, that's some big profit. So it was pretty dope. And then I DoorDashed today for just like $50, just because I wanted to do it the full day, but I don't want to necessarily get burnt out too much, but I should have taken the opportunity to maximize profit here because this seems like such a great place to DoorDash. But since it's like my first week doing this whole entire road trip, I decided to not try to burn myself out too quickly. So hopefully that risk or choice doesn't come to screw me over in the long run when I may or may not need money. But in Flagstaff, because I spent more time here, I'm going to be talking about Flagstaff more than Phoenix. The interesting thing is that everyone has their own fashion style. You got a college, Northern Arizona University, which is pretty much the heart of Flagstaff. I'm pretty sure that's where most of the community is the college community. But what's interesting is that usually when you go to a certain place, town, city, whatever, everyone pretty much has like the same fashion sense, fashion style. Like they all follow the same trends. Here, everyone that's here, you would expect to wear plaid. This is why I'm wearing plaid, because I thought I would blend in better. But here, you're in the mountains pretty much, or like in the wilderness, and you'd think people would be wearing more like Patagonia and North Face type shit. But everyone's just got a different style. There's just like skater people. There's people that are just dressed like generic modern day. There's people that are dressed like city people that you'd see in LA, like high fashion sense. And the one funny thing is that there's a lot of goth e-girls and emo people that are here, and they dress very interesting, which is nothing to shoot down on them. It's just they stand out a little bit more. But there was literally a license plate that said e-girl on their car. So I guess the community in Flagstaff has a very big portion of goth people, which is just interesting to me. Another thing is a lot of people tend to visit Flagstaff. When it comes to nature and everything, it's relaxing, it's nice, it's cool, but I just feel like there's not too much to do after that. But all the cars I was seeing, there were just a bunch of different license plates. You had New Mexico, you had California, which made sense, they're the bordering states, but then you had Alberta, like Canadian. You had like, there was one in Maine I saw an Oregon one. I don't think I saw a Washington one. But long story short, there's just a shit ton of people here from all over coming to visit this place. Traffic is also a little annoying here because there's only just that one main road, and they're also doing construction on the I-40, which is the highway that runs through the city. And so for it being such a small town, the traffic is annoying. To go like 2 miles, it's 10 minutes, which doesn't sound bad, but it's just like, I don't know. But yeah, anyways, other than that, they also take pride in their license plates. I saw like so many versions of Arizona custom license plates. Like in California, you usually have the black one, the generic white one, and then you have like maybe one or two more after that. I can't really think of one. But in Arizona, there's probably like 12 different versions of like custom license plates. Like, I don't know, I guess people take pride in their license plates. So after that, that's pretty much all I wrote down to talk about. I also bought, no, I'm not going to talk about that. But anyways, that's pretty much it. We're going to be heading down to New Mexico, either today or tomorrow. Depends what I'm like trying to think, because I realize that as much as I have like a plan for every day, it's best to just improvise. It just makes the day more chill. When you think that you have so much stuff to do, you're like forcing yourself to get through it, and you don't really enjoy it too much. At least what I experienced at my vacation. So I'm learning like maybe I shouldn't stick to a plan. Maybe I should just go with the flow. But yeah, we'll be hitting Albuquerque, New Mexico. We're either going to stay there for a day or just like spend the night for a day, or just go through and drive and head over to Colorado Springs. I'm meeting up with my friend Liz. She's going to be in Colorado Springs the 8th to the 12th, which literally works out perfectly because I'll be in Colorado Springs the 9th to the 12th. She has a crazy toxic roommate. Shout out to whoever she is if she happens to see that. Fuck you. You're a piece of shit, you fucking roommate. But anyways, yeah, we're just going to be going there, up there, boom, bam, pop. Fuck Phoenix, you're fucking hot. And fuck Scottsdale, because you fucking remind me of when I lived in Vegas. And I liked Vegas, but the community there, just kidding, I don't give a fuck. And you don't give a fuck about my opinion. This is where I start rambling on because I don't have anything written down. But yeah, Flagstaff is dope. I would definitely want to stay here longer if I could, but I got to stick to my schedule. But yeah, heading off to Albuquerque, and we'll see you there.